Hi everyone, I'm Ian. I love Nintendo. The characters, the games, and the consoles. But something that Nintendo just doesn't do is put their games on other consoles. Or do they?
Look at this. Yeah, doesn't work. Big surprise. When it comes to exclusive games, Xbox and PlayStation almost always end up being released on Windows, either day and date as the console version or very soon after. But Nintendo keeps these things locked down. You can only play their games on their consoles. Sure, Skyrim has come out on anything that can display to a TV, but Nintendo games? They're a lot less accessible. Mario has to stay on here. But what if he didn't?
Are you crazy?
Nintendo games that came out on consoles that aren't Nintendo owned, which is just weird. The very first example of this is Mario Bros. From the arcade and brought to a laundry list of consoles. Atari 2600, 5200, 7800, PC-88, FM7, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC, and ZX Spectrum. Now, it is odd for this to be on all of these consoles, but these all came out before the NES ever existed, so it makes sense that this arcade game had to come out on something other than this. Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. also came out on all those same consoles, along with the ColecoVision, Intellivision, and Apple II. The company that did the conversions of Donkey Kong was Coleco. Yes, the Coleco that makes the ColecoVision.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Now, all of these are okay versions, but they are nowhere near as good as the arcade versions, or even the NES versions that came later, or even the GBA versions that came years later.
Well, these are interesting, but how about stuff that people have actually heard of?
Wii U had so many games that originally came out on it that ended up getting multi-platform releases later. Rayman Legends, a game that was supposed to be released near the launch window of the Wii U, but after Zombie U failed hard as a launch title, Ubisoft decided to wait and instead released it on all platforms in February 2013. Wait, no, it was delayed again and came out 4 days before Grand Theft Auto 5. No wonder this game didn't do so well. This is a fine game, but it should have been a multi-platform release from the beginning. Now, Zombie U? Yeah, this belongs on Wii U. Without the gamepad, this is just a generic zombie game, though it still looks like it controls so bad. Yeah, I don't own this, but for some reason I own 2 copies of LEGO Harry Potter for the Wii.
Who doesn't?
But LEGO City Undercover and Sonic Lost World, they didn't need to be a Wii U exclusive. LEGO City forces you to use the gamepad to find secrets. When they ported this to other systems, didn't really need this. Sonic Lost World, on the other hand, only uses the gamepad for competitive multiplayer, where the second player uses it to race the other player.
What's the point?
Moving along, in 2016, after years of being pressured, Nintendo entered the world of mobile games. Miitomo, releasing March 17th, 2016 in Japan and March 31st, 2016 in the US. Nintendo's own social networking app full of Tomodachi Life visuals and weird people. Wait, that's High School. This wasn't exactly a port of a Nintendo game, as it just used assets from Tomodachi Life to create a social media app. Yeah, it shut down. At some point, Nintendo figured out that it was just easier to have Twitter and Facebook integration instead of running their own social media and having to deal with all the servers and moderation. And it's a smart move. Nintendo then released Super Mario Run on December 15th, 2016 for iOS and March 22nd, 2017 for Android. A game that's still going to this day, and yeah, this is a Mario game on mobile. They actually did a very good job at taking the Mario formula and bringing it to mobile. Instead of having a D-pad and buttons, Mario automatically runs and you tap the screen to jump and vault over things. And this is a really good time waster. But that's all it really is, a time waster. You have short levels, each of which takes about a minute to complete, but it's still a very fun game. Next, Nintendo released Fire Emblem Heroes on February 2nd, 2017. I never played this one. The Fire Emblem series has never been an interest of mine, so it's understandable that I never tried this. After that, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp released worldwide on November 21st, 2017, and this is one that I absolutely love. I have been a fan of Animal Crossing since New Leaf and have played hundreds of hours of New Horizons, and this came out at a very good time. New Leaf came out in 2013, and it wasn't until 2020 that we got New Horizons, so there was a huge gap in between mainline games. So when Pocket Camp came out, even though there wasn't a full new Animal Crossing, it helped fill an Animal Crossing shaped void for so many people. For other people, yeah, this is just a BS mobile game. Pocket Camp did get mobile gamified. It doesn't have ads, but it does have Leaf tickets, which you can buy with real money.
Okay.
With these tickets, you can buy clothes, decorations, and missing crafting materials. Now, you don't have to buy Leaf tickets. You get plenty of them from completing challenges and daily login bonuses. Nevertheless, Pocket Camp is still a mobile game, and I played it nowhere near as long as New Leaf and New Horizons. Next, skipping over Dragalia Lost and Dr. Mario World, as neither of them lasted very long and I have no interest in them, we have Mario Kart Tour. Released September 15th, 2019, and this is a pretty faithful version of Mario Kart. All you have to do is move your finger left and right on the screen to steer. You automatically drive forward, you can still drift, and there are items, and this is another good time waster. But once again, it's a time waster, and when I do play this, I'll only ever do 1 or 2 races, where with Mario Kart on console, I could play that for hours. The final game that Nintendo brought to mobile devices was Pikmin Bloom on November 2nd, 2021, and this is not Pikmin. Pikmin Bloom was developed by Niantic, the same company that developed Pokemon Go, and this was kind of a slap to the face. We hadn't had a Pikmin game on a home console since 2013, and it's just not as fun as Pokemon Go. You don't get to capture anything or battle, it's really just a pedometer, which sucks. A mobile version of Pikmin could have been a really good idea. It would make sense to put Pikmin on mobile. You could have short levels in the style of console Pikmin, and you could even still have the whole pedometer aspect to get special items, but instead you get none of that.
This is so lame. Every time we get a new Pikmin, it's been years since we got the last one. Every one of the console Pikmin games is a really good game, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. But Pikmin Bloom is more like, oh, you like Pikmin? Well then here's a BS mobile game that's nothing like the console games.
Now, moving away from mobile, how about some actual Mario games? Kind of. Edutainment games. Educational games meant to teach kids stuff. The first of which being Super Mario Bros. And Friends When I Grow Up, released March 22nd, 1992 for MS-DOS, and is essentially a digital coloring book. That's all you can do. Color a picture. You can't even alter the picture. The next game is Mario is Missing for MS-DOS, released January 1993. This is part of the Mario Discovery series, consisting of the games Mario is Missing, Mario's Early Years, Fun with Letters, Mario's Early Years, Fun with Numbers, Mario's Early Years, Preschool Fun, and Mario's Time Machine. Interestingly, this was the second ever game in the Super Mario franchise where Luigi is the main protagonist. This game looks fine. It sure is an educational game containing Mario characters. The final Mario edutainment games were Mario Teaches Typing, releasing May 11th, 1995, and Mario Teaches Typing 2, releasing March 31st, 1997. Games to help teach kids type.
Cool.
I do think this is a good way to help teach kids how to type instead of a boring website or something. Instead, it brings some of their favorite characters to help them along. But it's still just a typing game. There was one more Mario game on PC, not an educational game, but instead a port of the original Super Mario Bros. On PC 8801 called Super Mario Bros. Special, releasing only in Japan and Korea in 1986 and 1987 respectively. And this looks horrible! Due to the technology of the PC 8801 being much more inferior to the NES and Famicom, this game uses a whole 4 colors: black, red, yellow, and blue. This is a screen-by-screen version of Super Mario Bros., which I guess is a good way for more people to be able to play it, but it's really not a good game. The final games I want to talk about are all on the Philips CDI. The Philips CDI came out after Nintendo decided to reevaluate their contract with Sony when making a CD add-on for the SNES. Sony made the PlayStation, and Nintendo let Philips put Mario and Zelda on not the SNES. Nintendo really just allowed Philips to make their own games using Nintendo characters on Philips' own console. The first of which being Zelda the Wand of Gamelon and Link the Faces of Evil, releasing the same day, October 10th, 1993. And these seem okay. They obviously aren't going to be as good as a Nintendo-developed Zelda game, but seeing how almost nobody bought the CDI, these really didn't do well. And you see this with the other two Nintendo games on the CDI. Hotel Mario releasing April 5th, 1994 worldwide, and Zelda's Adventure releasing May 10th, 1996 only in Europe. None of these games have the same allure that the actual Nintendo ones do, but they're still a part of the history of these games.
Some of these games make a lot of sense, like the ones that released on Wii U, but for others, not really. Sure, the Mario edutainment games helped kids learn stuff, but they more just had Mario shoehorned in. Nevertheless, they're still all cool, so I am glad that they all came to be, even if a lot of people just end up dogging on them.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing, hit subscribe. And if you have any recommendations for videos to make, leave it in the comments.